they were like,
they're only here for
Sandeep is not in the play anymore.
we're gonna see
I mean, we talked about you for the whole rest of the time. You were sort of in it, you know.
My mom told me, she's like, I don't think I'm gonna make it till 10.
Yeah, I know, it's a late night. It's a late night.
Nice.
They could hear a recording of me gurgling, choking
That's the
myself.
best part. That's my favorite part.
Is it?
Yeah, just
Thanks for Jerry's jokes. I love it.
Okay,
All right,
Laura,
are you ready?
thanks for coming and doing this. So you kind of get the gist of what we're going for, right?
I think so. And if not, you guys can steer me on the.
Have fun with the day, Laura.
All right.
So,
Whenever you're ready. All right, I'm here. My name's Laura. I'm here with the cast and crew of Ideation. They just finished their third Friday, so third week. How many plays is that total?
7.
This is the 7th showing. I think I'm going to start tonight with just going around this whole table, starting with you, and having you guys introduce yourself, your real name, and then what are you doing in the play?
my name is Phillip Dixon, and I'm the director of this play, and it's been my privilege and great honor to do that. So, thank you.
My name is Federoff, and I am the stage manager of this play. My first time, he's calling me a rock star.
Awesome.
My name is Yvonne Paoletti, and I work with the crew backstage. We're having a wonderful time.
My name is Matthew Dickson. I play Scooter, and I'm an assistant.
I'm Sergio Martinez. I play Sandeep, and he is the smartest man in the room.
So I'm Derral Hawthorne, and I play Ted, otherwise known as Papa Bear. Yeah.
And I'm Jay Trost, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I play Brock. And he oftentimes doesn't know what he's doing either, so
Sounds like
it
a
works.
match made in heaven.
I am Gigi Hodges, playing the role of Hannah. And it's been fun.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah, on to the next question, actually, which you segued perfectly. What was your, what was the funnest thing about this entire experience? It doesn't matter if it was during the actual performance, the showing, or rehearsals. I know you guys put hours, months into rehearsing and making this play what it was and what it is and continues to be. But what stands out to you? What's your favorite part, most memorable experience or feeling that you had during this whole time? Whoever wants to start.
I'd like to go first.
Go ahead, please.
I'd like to answer
Yes.
that, because for me, watching this fellow over here, Phil, direct on his directorial debut, this has been a delight and a pleasure. I happen to be a big Phil fan, and I
Phil fan.
recognize his brilliance, and so it's been wonderful just to be basking in the Philness of it all. He's got every detail is handled. The energy is wonderful. The attitude is wonderful. It's like he's been doing this his whole life, and that to me is absolutely phenomenal. To have that kind of an experience with a first-time director is just, oh my goodness. If this is a good play and we do a good job, that's why.
Your success is my success. Thank you so much.
The most memorable thing for me was watching Jay develop into a fabulous actor. We were a little worried about him at the beginning, but I tell you, I am so impressed. So impressed. So impressed. And also Matthew, too. Very wonderful first-time actors.
When did you stop worrying about him, or is that continuing?
No. I stopped worrying about him once he started putting them in rehearsals 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
That went away.
Yeah.
They really picked it up well. Thank you. Yeah, you're my star. I appreciate
Jay, you
it.
knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
really
all you
did.
guys did.
It was the Philness of it all. It is the great Philness of it all.
I tell you, when I read this script, and I was thinking in my mind how to cast this script, I put a phone call into each one of you. And I contacted you, and you, and you. And I had, at the time, I was thinking Michael Smith for Scooter, and then Michael couldn't do it, because Michael's a great actor as well too, and I figured he would do a great job with that part. I didn't have my female role handled, but I can't imagine anybody doing it other than you. You're so, it's the best cast in the world. So I knew Sergio, you would knock out deep, you know, smartest guy in the room. Perfect Ted there ever could be, and dude, you're wrong. It's
Scary.
So it's just such a privilege and honor to work with all of you.
So much of the fun occurs backstage. It's such a delight to be out on stage. But then we have a few moments where we get to leave, and it's just our own little secret world back there. We know what we did out there. If we made a mistake, we can make a joke about that. But just to second that kind of that feeling of how perfectly cast we all are, I totally agree with that. It became natural to just call each other by our stage names, which is just fun.
Yeah.
You know, we're calling each other the names of the people on the stage, you know, because that's what we're here to do. But you just become a little club.
And you
Secret
start
club
working in all
backstage.
the lines in the play into your real life, and you know, how many times did we say, "Yay, smiley face," about something?
It's new in my vernacular, I use it all the time now.
It is a weird thing, like having to memorize so much dialogue and so many lines that naturally, just in your day-to-day life, sometimes you will say a line. It just fits. It's just funny,
Right.
and especially when
That's
we're
a
all
sign of
together.
really good writing too, when it comes out in a natural conversation and it fits perfectly. You know that the writer knows that's how people talk.
Good job, Aaron.
So the writing was
Excellent.
brilliant on this.
Thank you, Aaron.
If you don't have a brilliant script in the first place, it doesn't matter what we all do up here. It's just a disaster. So to work with a script this beautiful and brilliant is, ooh, what a treat and a delight.
So yesterday was also, for me, yesterday was the most fun. I mean, we had Jay surprise us with each a gift, which was really thoughtful, and very thoughtful gifts each. And then we did kind of a quasi dress rehearsal, and you know, we had a lot of fun with it. Threw in extra lines, we were goofy, we're to a point where we know it well enough that we just had fun
You can
with
have
it
fun
on
with
our
it,
last
yeah.
rehearsal.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, it was just glorious to see the relationships that we have built, right? The strengths that people have, and just, it was fun. It was a great time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm taking you all home with me. You're
Sure.
gonna come live with me from
But I
now
think
on.
I think it came out in tonight's performance. We were much looser, having fun with it. You know, it was a good job. And for me, yesterday was probably the funnest day that we did, you know, that I've had on this. Because I mean, the shows are the show, and it's awesome. But the relationships that are built during the process of building the show is what I think is the greatest takeaway for me individually. I mean, I walked into this thing not even knowing the lingo, right? They're like, you know, they use a word, and I'd be like, I have no idea what that means, right? Gigi would sit down and be like, okay, this is how it goes, right? You know, and so it was interesting. But the only person that I knew actually knew well was Phil. Before this, I knew Sergio by acquaintance, but getting to know everybody and building those relationships is probably the highlight of the entire process.
So this was your first play,
Mhm.
and so will you do more after this?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You just wait.
Yeah.
You wait a
Say
month or
that
two.
now.
Yeah, they always
You've
say
been
they're,
good.
So
they're back. They
Yeah.
That's what I said after my last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a cool thing to hear from someone who's never done a play before.
But they never want to do it again.
Because you just said what is really, you know, the essence of theater. You bring people together. That otherwise, we never would have, this group, I mean, you know, without this space, without this script, without this director, it just, we're friends for life. Or we are connected
Right.
for, you know, every time we'll see each other, you know, and it just.
You know more about each other than you ever thought you would, probably.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
Or wanted to.
Or
You know,
wanted
that's
to.
exactly.
Yeah. Scooter, what
You
about
know,
you?
I think the most fun I've had is just being with the people in the cast. The first day I came here, first rehearsal, I was in a room with a bunch of old people. And I was like, I don't belong here. And it's just, I didn't see myself, I was just telling my dad, I don't think this is for me. I was going to say, listen, I appreciate the thoughtfulness, but I don't think it's right for me. I thought, I want to see it, I want to try to see it through a little bit more. And so I just kept going, and then eventually we got on stage, and that really changed it for me. Around the book was kind of slow. It was like, I don't know if it's right for me, but once you got on stage and I could really see who everybody was, and what we're capable of, I knew it was going to be a great play. And I come to know so many things, like I know Derral's Mormon, used to be Mormon.
We all know that very well.
It's
Nice.
I just know so much about.
We're gonna go through each thing that
No,
you now
no,
know
no,
about the
I know Gigi's moving. I know Sergio has so many athletes. I know he's never worked a 40-hour week in his life. I know.
Oh boy, come on. You gotta do bells.
There's a little more nuance to what I said there.
Wow, yeah, you're welcome.
Good listener.
I'm sure there's a lot of things to learn about yourself too, not just, your the other members in the play. I have some questions that it looks like came from the audience and maybe some people that just really were very curious about you guys and about your thoughts. The first one I wanted to ask was, if you were to do ideation again, what, if anything, would you do differently? Or is it just perfect, nothing needs to be changed at all? And just feel free, anyone can answer.
I have an answer for that. Go ahead.
That wasn't, I wrote that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Get an answer from him.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't think you can improve on the show. No, I am so happy with how everything turned out. I'm so happy with my crew. I'm so happy with my cast. I wouldn't do the show again. No, unless it's the same group.
Oh.
Okay.
Same group.
So you'd only do it again if it was exactly the same
Yeah.
as it is.
Yay, Dr. Phil.
I would do it again if I could play JD, because it got a little old telling Sergio, okay, time to kiss grandma. JD off stage, somebody my own age maybe, that would be
Okay.
nice. If they age Hannah 20 years and yeah, then I'll do it. But other than that, no.
It's you can only really think of like what other choices could we have made. You don't really think like, it's hard to imagine anything going different than how it did. Perhaps you could think of a new challenge, or what if we didn't have this space but a different space? How would we work the play out if we had like a theater in the round? Or, what challenge? That was a really fun part of it as well. Is figuring out the script. What was my character really doing in this part? And then like, how do we make this work? How do we make this honest for our character? So there's always a challenge would come up during the process, and I don't know. It'd be interesting just to see what different circumstances would throw in this to this same group, because it was such a pleasure working with everybody. It's hard to imagine.
I understand it's being made into a film, and I can't wait to see it.
Oh, is it
I'm
really?
looking forward to seeing who gets cast in
You
it.
can't mess with perfection.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, it sounds to me like you guys all enjoyed, the rehearsals, the performance, but the question is, do you think the audience enjoyed everything? Do you think that it was
most
well received by the audience?
Interestingly enough, the first night we had people get up and walk out. And we've had...
And tonight, it sounds like
There was-
Sergio's family walked
Oh,
out.
yeah, his mom walked out.
His own mom.
Wow.
No, I don't think everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because this is not your feel-good theater. There was moments of levity, there was moments of laughter, but no, this is
Very dark.
different,
Yeah.
right? And so, but when the audience got it and the audience was in it, oh my gosh, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Feel the energy.
So I've heard this play called Ideation called a comedy thriller. Does that sound like it fits the play, or a dark comedy? What would you guys say? This is a genre.
I would include the word dark in any
Dark,
description.
yeah.
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 Dark comedy.
dark comedy, maybe.
Not a thriller?
Adult subject matter.
Suspense, maybe, or
Okay.
I don't know, intrigue. It's hard to really put it in one thing because it certainly was funny tonight. Boy, they laughed.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was a great
You know,
one.
Yes.
Saturday last
We
week,
had actors.
it was crickets.
Yeah.
out
Although
there.
they enjoyed the show,
But they
according
enjoyed
to
it
audience
in different
feedback,
ways.
we're getting the
Yeah.
same feedback, we loved it, just different audiences.
But
are
that
coming
night,
back.
Some
it
people are
was
more
not a
vocal
comedy.
with their feelings.
Right, it wasn't a comedy that night.
Yeah.
Right, it was more. They were more into the thriller part of it, and we played that different that night too. We didn't try to get the laughs. We really played it in a more serious way as the night went on because that's what the audience was taking. Right.
Right, you fed off the audience,
Yeah.
their reactions, right? Yeah,
So
that
it
was
changes each
interesting.
night
Mhm.
with what I
Awesome.
normally describe it.
I've listened to the play, many, many times during rehearsal, but the 7 times that it's been done in production, it's different every night. And I learned something different about the play. I got to watch it during the rehearsal last night, or 2 nights ago, whenever it was, and it was just fantastic to be out in the audience. And even though you guys weren't costumed up, I actually got new parts to it, like torturing a 22-year-old. I had no idea you were talking about Scooter. I thought it was somebody in Crete that you were bothering.
Yeah.
It took me forever to get that line, and I got it last night.
Yeah, she was offended by that line because she thought it was like somebody psychologically. She was like, "No, that's too dark. You guys crossed the line there." And I'm like, "I'm talking about Scooter."
Yeah, I had no idea. I just picked that up the other night. No, it's fun to watch it night after night and see how they change and the different nuances and, and how they handle when something doesn't quite go right. The way they can get it right back on track. They're very seasoned actors, even the unseasoned ones seem to be able to get through it. I'm very proud of this cast. I haven't seen a better show here.
Yeah, this
Really
is a
haven't.
very dialogue-driven, heavy
It is.
dialogue show, and so when an actor doesn't give an exact cue or anywhere close to it to the other actor, you can get lost in stuff, and that hasn't happened here.
No.
These guys have been such pros. It's such a joy to work with you guys on the stage because of that. You know what you're doing, and you take it seriously, and you're generous to your other actors, and that makes acting easier. You raise the level of the other actors that you're on the stage with, and thank you for that.
There's been nothing but 100% full commitment on the stage. It's like a safety blanket. I know this person's not gonna, I know this person's 100% committed to what we're doing right now. So,
I think they were
Take care of each
committed
other up there.
yeah.
when they let me keep coming back to practice.
Yeah.
I tell you, I could see the terror in their eyes. Phil, are you serious? Like, this is gonna be a shit show. And they kept letting me come back, and I knew it was bad when they kept telling me, "Oh, you're doing so good." And then each one of them, "You're doing better. You're doing so good."
Yeah.
And so,
No, there was a moment you clicked and it was
Yeah.
just awesome to watch.
yeah, so
Awesome to watch.
day up.
You turned it into rock.
You did.
It was fun.
So that's actually kind of goes on to another question. At what point did you realize that you had made a really special show? And when did that all come together for you individually?
When did we finally say, we got a show here?
It felt like after the first night. There was
Like the first night of rehearsal?
no, the first night.
no,
It
it
was
was
Okay.
before
we did a
that.
performance. 'Cause
Shortly before that, but it was before that.
Yeah, because I mean, there was a standing ovation, which
Uh-huh.
this is all new to me, and to see everybody's excitement afterwards when you're downstairs and you're changing out, and and Gigi's super excited, and everybody's excited, and seeing that portion of people who are extremely passionate about what they do, see the end result and feel that joy. I'd say like the first night we did this, you realize this was a production that was not like some of the others, I'm guessing.
Well, and getting a standing O on your opening night is quite a thrill. That'll carry you through any production, I think, that opening night standing O.
This is the kind of show too I would expect to see in a large city. I would expect to see something of this caliber in LA or San
Several people
Francisco.
made that
We got
comment
that
that they have
comment from
seen.
people, yes.
It's not something that you would normally expect to catch it, you know. in a
And I was
small
afraid of
town.
how it would be received here.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about some dark things, you know, with COVID going on.
Some
We're, you know,
political
we're talking
things.
about, we're talking about some things that maybe was just a little too raw right now. And I was afraid that it was not going to be well received in the small little community that we were in. And so it wasn't until, the first night, even though we'd had people walk out, but we also had a lot of people stay.
Why do you think they walked out?
That night,
Too impressed.
Yeah.
They
it's
weren't
too much.
worthy.
We had,
They were expecting lighthearted comedies
Oh,
on the lines
okay,
of
gotcha.
Red Velvet Cake War,
Okay.
kind of, you know, comedy,
But at the
and
same-
they.
Of what is tradition, of what is most commonly
Right.
performed.
Yeah.
the second night, we had people leave also, and they left because I heard feedback because someone knew them.
You'd be like, did you follow these people out or what?
No, I was talking, he's like, oh yeah, some friends of
The
mine.
room is
left."
under
And that's
surveillance.
because she was in the corporate world for, her entire career, and it was too real.
Wow.
She couldn't sit and watch a boardroom because she had been in the boardroom
Yeah.
and it was uncomfortable for her. And so that's why they left. So
Right.
interesting reasons
Yeah,
people had.
so it's interesting. I actually wanted to ask you guys a few questions specifically about the play and just, there's a lot of unanswered questions. For instance, where did Sandeep go?
The pocket dial.
Was it a pocket dial?
That's
No,
the big question.
What do
he
you
killed
think?
him.
Maybe. I think it's that he went to go buy those sour gummy bears, and then he was eating one. He
Choked.
Yeah, that's,
You're
that
still
was
wearing
my
your
thought
glove.
too.
I don't know.
He loves
He
them.
just likes
He
truck, he
feels
likes
very
gloves.
secure.
I
I was cold.
You should ask about the gummy bears.
The gummy bears.
Yeah, tell me about those gummy bears.
I think they made the play. They made the play what it is today.
Okay.
Daryl bought those
Backstage gummy bears for all, because of this guy.
Like
That's
10
what we're talking
pounds, I
about.
mean,
Yeah.
a 5-gallon
Oh,
bucket of gummy bears.
you've got to see it. They're
They
almost
weren't the
frozen.
Hasbro ones, were they?
Oh, no,
The
no,
bags,
no, no.
like
I'll
almost
miss
liquid.
those.
Okay.
I don't think he did have a name, it was just like
On the-
a plain
All
bag.
On the way to the first production, I buy these gummy bears, and then it started out with like me and Scooter over here eating gummy bears before the thing, and then Derral got in, and then Sergio got in, and before you know it, every show we're back there eating sour gummy bears. So it's just.
But they were a tiny little bag, and we were out of them by the time the play was
Yeah,
done.
so you had to get a bigger bag,
So I
obviously.
went to the
Yeah.
the company.
manufacturer, and I bought the largest bag they had, which was 4.5 pounds,
So
And it
technically,
should be
they sponsored this production.
without knowing it.
Yeah, without knowing it.
In a way.
Is McKay's a sponsor?
Yes.
McKay's is sponsored, yes.
So you can get them at McKay's Market,
Albanese.
an official sponsor of Ideation.
So we don't know what happened to Sandeep, is that kind of,
It's,
other than the gummy bears?
That's the beautiful thing about this play.
Yeah, but what do
He
you
didn't write a
think happened though?
synopsis. We had to figure it out through all the table reads, and
Yeah.
as we did table reads, we were like, oh wow,
I
maybe
could see
this.
it.
Even as director, there were things I missed deep into the play. Because there was one thing Scooter pointed out to me, he goes, when I returned back the second time, I'm in a different set of clothes. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, read the little spot. And I stopped and I had missed that. I never caught that it came back the second time in a whole different
Covered
outfit.
in blood.
And I think,
Because why would they write that?
The
And
gloves
he's got,
on.
he's got scratches on his
Yeah,
hand
we'll
from
get to that.
attacking
That's why you
Sandeep.
have gloves on.
Yeah, there's a reason.
You are.
And then he's trying to poison her at the end. Yeah.
It's easy to just kind of go with what seems like the most likely, scenario what happened. Sandeep was shoved into a car and he called him and he was choking. It's fun though to think, well, what if it's not that? And how would that change what I do tonight? I'm not gonna change the words, and I'm not gonna change the play really at all. But I felt that a little bit tonight. Just a little bit. I thought to myself, you know, what if I don't really mean what I'm saying right now? What if this is something a little different? And then you get caught up and you do what you're doing. But this play leaves it open for a performer to have an inner life, an inner monologue that may be deceptive, that may not follow what we've decided is what happened in the play. So, I mean, it's clearly, that is definitely an extra sex for Scooter, where it's like, okay, Scooter, now play it as if you really killed Sandeep. Or play it like you're totally innocent, like your lines say, you know? That's really, right? Because you confess your innocence.
Yeah.
Right?
Do I him?
I didn't threaten you. I didn't threaten you. I'm just here innocently wearing gloves.
In a very threatening way.
And then, and then you keep reading the script. There's so many different little echoes of
Oh, yeah.
lines, you know, and you think, wait, what? Like, why did my character say that? Back to how brilliant the scripted is. I feel like this. Man, if we did do it differently, I think, let's try and, I think we would discover different choices to make. Let's make it so that this person is on
You
it.
could.
And let's say,
It's that kind of script?
yeah,
I think
in fact, we could probably do that.
Ted, maybe
You know,
it should be
yeah.
Ted tomorrow night.
I was thinking
Yeah.
the same thing. Ted is, I mean, I think he's a bad guy personally. It's just,
Ah.
And he was on
And the
fire
audience
tonight.
loves him.
Oh my
Isn't that
God.
interesting how
Yeah.
much the audience reacts to Ted's character
People like
with
bad guys.
great affection,
Yeah.
and they really are, they're loving the character, even though they think he's a
Yeah.
murderer, and he's in a.
That's a sign of
Very
a
interesting.
good villain
It's
right
a
there.
sign of some good acting going on there.
A villain you can sympathize with.
Mhm.
And so
But what if he wasn't? Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm just kind of going through these questions if you have something. So one of the questions someone wanted to know, what was your favorite line in the play and who said it? And that doesn't have to be your favorite line, but anyone's line, any of the lines that were said.
Crazy rich
CRF,
fuckers do
DWS.
weird
I think that's a pretty good thematic,
Yeah.
an overall theme of the whole thing.
The one I look forward to the most is, think about you when I touch myself.
Oh.
Mine too.
That brings the audience down every time.
Oh God, we sit back here and we're waiting. This is so silent beforehand. We're like, watch, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah. He's got to embarrass himself again.
I just throw this big tirade, right? I just throw this big, and I storm off the stage, and everybody's like, and then the very next line is, I think of you when I touch
Touch
myself.
myself.
I mean, that just lets the air right out of the crowd, the tension that we built up.
Mhm.
I love that line.
It might be my
Really
favorite line
place
too.
it in there.
Just because of what you just said. It's such a curveball all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
It's very based in reality though. I mean, all those stressful situations, bring people to think about other people when they touch themselves. So,
Right?
Yeah.
I know it's
It could be
Yeah.
stressful.
Jesus, does everybody know?
That was fucked up.
Anyway,
That's out to
Mine too. Oh, there's some good lines. for sure.
oh, this
Yeah,
one is actually
God.
for Jay. What is your greatest takeaway from the experience of being in a play?
That's the one he wants to
Oh.
ask us all.
Oh,
That's
okay.
okay.
I guess
I'll
I'm
answer.
confused.
No,
Yeah.
it's good.
The greatest takeaway for me is, it's not even close, it's the relationships.
Yep,
It's not even close.
second that one.
Bravo.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
This, I think you pulled it together, I mean, what you said earlier,
Are we
Serge.
pausing?
New battery.
Huh?
Need new battery. You guys.
Oh, pause. No one say anything. You got it.
When everybody talks about Sandeep and Hannah doing the thing, I, as Gigi Hodges, get embarrassed.
Oh,
It's like
no.
a ridiculous.
No, it's awesome, it's the best.
It's,
You know,
No,
that's
that's
awesome.
Well, that's like I feel
Sign
ashamed, cheating on her husband and stuff. I feel like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I feel
we're
like,
all
oh man,
morally
she's
bankrupt. Don't even worry about
Yeah.
it.
I
Yeah.
mean, Laura thinks about it when she's
Backstage,
stressed.
Not me, no.
Yes, it's okay, that's out the bag.
Yeah.
Wow, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Thanks. So actually, my question, you guys probably won't answer it, but what do you think happens after the play is over? What happens in that phone call? Is it a test? Is it real?
What does Hannah do?
Yeah, what does Hannah do?
She drinks the
Does
poison.
she drink the coffee? Is the coffee-
Is it poison?
I think that's the brilliance of the play.
That's the choice that I mean,
See, I knew
you
you
know, it
guys were
comes
gonna
to
answer
actor
that.
choices, I think a lot of, you have to make those decisions. I work in the film industry casting, and it's just the most fascinating thing, I love actors anyway, but the most fascinating part of all of that process to me is watching the actor come in and see the choices that they've made. They don't know anything about the rest of the script, the beginning, the middle, the end. They've only got their sides for just the scene that they're auditioning for. And you have to decide who this person is and who their family is and all of these choices that you're gonna make before you come in. And so for me, that's a fascinating deal, is to watch everyone make their choices. Who am I? Am I the killer? Am I involved? Am I not? And I can make a choice that Ted is not the killer, and he can make the choice that he is. And we can both be in the same show with making those choices, and it works. So to me, that's the wonderful thing about actors, is watching the choices that you make.
And then how they develop
And
the
then how you
character once
develop your
they
character
choose
through
that.
through those
This
choices.
person here, I enjoy watching Sergio become Sandeep. When he walks in, he takes on a whole different persona. He's not Sergio anymore. That's not, I can't even call him Sergio, because that's not who he is once he enters the building. Yeah, brilliant, just brilliant.
Am I alone that I actually haven't thought past
Never.
that close?
I've never thought about
Plays
it.
over. Yeah.
I'm so happy to see the end of the play. By the time we're,
Right?
because it's emotionally draining. I am so happy
Yes.
that I haven't thought, I don't care if Anna's dead.
I don't care if I kill him.
Oh, you're just so sure that your character
I'm
is
just like,
safe.
you know,
You played it
Yeah.
we got a presentation, so we're good.
It's, that is,
I actually haven't thought past the end.
I've
Have you
never
guys?
thought
No.
that.
I haven't either,
Wow.
what really will
And the
happen.
audience does, that's what's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But as yeah. that's
When I read the
Yeah.
script for the first time, I was captured by what,
Yeah,
I was looking for the next page, like, what the shit did she do?
Yeah.
You know? So I can totally imagine how it is out here.
It is an excellent place to end the play, though, because you know, anywhere you go is just going to be a whole nother situation.
Right, it was a
Yeah.
brilliant
Yeah.
decision on his part, the
Yeah.
writer, Aaron Loeb, to end it just exactly that way without anybody knowing what
Right.
exactly
Yeah.
the choice that was made there, what happened.
And you even got a 22-year-old.
Nothing else would have been
Yeah.
satisfying, you
Yeah,
know?
right.
Everybody would have been, oh, well, this should have happened, or that should have happened, or nobody would have been happy with whatever it was we were gonna say, this is what
Yeah.
happened. So, yeah, it was just brilliant writing to me.
and we actually,
It makes you wonder.
Phil made contact with the playwright. He's
Awesome.
actually had a back and forth with him a little bit. It was, we believed for a short while that he actually lived in San Francisco, still,
Oh,
where
okay.
he wrote
Good,
it.
yeah.
And we were so excited, we thought, oh
Oh,
my
that
gosh, we're
could
gonna
have
get
been
him to come to the show.
Yeah.
Oakland, up
But
to
it turns out
Crescent
it was
City.
in London.
Oh,
So,
yeah, a little bit farther away.
But he's seen clips from the show,
He has seen a lot of the audience reactions.
audience reactions.
oh,
Okay.
cool.
And those have been, a lot of people have seemed to really enjoy those. So I myself, like the gentleman who was here tonight, Roman, you know, he came back again to see the
Yeah,
show.
the second
Yeah,
time,
okay.
to see
It was
the
a
show, yeah.
great
Yeah, I
interview,
thought
the
I
first
remember.
interview.
Yes.
And then tonight, he was just on cloud nine again. It was insane enthusiasm.
She came for the first night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And it's
that'd be
gotten so much
I
better
wish
from the first night.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's cool.
I think
Is
we
that
had,
the
we had
first-
some, go
Is
ahead.
that the first time that you guys have done reaction interviews like that?
I've never seen
It is-
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the first
There you
time.
go.
Great idea.
This is our producer and
Genius.
Yeah.
director, he's the one who thought it up. and
Uh,
Great advertising.
I think whenever I went into this show, I had some goals. And some of the goals was to capitalize and do things that I think would benefit the marketing side of theater, to kind of bring theater to more people. And I think from watching those interviews, there's been a number of people that have said, I've never been to the theater before, or it's been 8 years, or it's been a dozen years. But there's been a lot of never been years. And then not only did they come, but they saw a great show that I think will definitely help them become members or come back in, or whether it be Go Beach or wherever they happen to live, they're going to look back to their community theater. Another goal I had was to involve young people can get the youth back into the theater, because I'd like to see the Ellensburg Theater Board have youth on its board. You know, because this is not old people theater, this is the community theater. So I think there should be a couple of teenagers on that board, there should be some 20s is something in there, and actually this should be a requirement from the board. We have to fill this spot. And I know you want to be on it, but you can't be on it because we got to have a 17-year-old or a 22-year-old. So that's the way to really make theater work in a small town. And it was very encouraging to see the Brookings folks come up tonight.
Yeah.
It was, they seemed to have a really good time. They loved your performances. They got their money's worth out of the show. And it's good because I think Curry County, it's strange for me being not growing up here, the competitiveness between the south and north side, because coming from Fort Worth, you can drive from Brookings to Port Orford and you're still in Fort Worth. And it's one city, and it's one school district. And so for me, I don't quite understand that. I get it now, but I think we're one community. You know, we're as large as some cities are. You can drive 60 miles and you're still in the same city. So I really think it would behoove both theaters to look at doing things together.
Yeah, there's definitely collaboration in the future.
And really grow when it comes to performing arts, whether it be live music. I'd like to see this theater used a lot more, because the acoustics here are wonderful. We got a nice grant from Gold Beach of $5,000. I think this play has made more money than any other play by a long shot. We're pushing, we might crack $15,000.
Wow.
So on this show.
There's a lot of discounts too that people have received.
There's a lot of discounts, but those discounts were covered by sponsors.
Okay.
So the sponsors,
better, yeah.
you know, like Mary Stansel came up and sponsored first responders to come out, but she gave a lot of money to have people have a chance for a discount ticket.
Yeah.
And the same thing, you know, Fat Irish stepped up and let all students come in for $5.
Yeah.
You get popcorn and
It's
a
like coming for
soda,
free.
and now the buzz around those students has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Because there was an interview Mark did with those 4 guys. I loved that interview. You know, one guy said, "My first time ever coming to the theater. I loved it. Would you come back?" "Yeah." "Who's going to be on stage next?" And they're all kind of laughing, but you could tell that thought was in the back of their mind.
Well, and it's great for them to see one of their peers on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Your
As
friends will
well,
come up
so.
to see you, right?
And more coming.
More
Oh,
Coming
man.
still.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think we had a goal too that we talked about one of our first reads was to just have fun. And I think I have had a blast with that. I have laughed so much this year, because COVID was terrible. It was hard to find something to laugh about the last couple of years, besides what might be on Rick and Morty or something on television. But you guys have made me laugh so many times, and your facial expressions and your non-verbal communication is freaking awesome. I sit up there and laugh every time I'm watching the show.
I chuckle from backstage,
It's wonderful.
you know, and a couple of times I just went, with things that he comes up with, the way he delivers it. I know the lines, but if you deliver it brilliantly, it catches me every time.
I think the audience really enjoyed everybody's performance tonight. It was definitely,
Yeah,
they got their money's worth.
yeah.
Man, if the whole world, you know, was brought, you know, crippling, you know, fell apart, you know, tomorrow, and we had to rebuild it, we would naturally build a place like this. A place for people to come together. Hey, I know how to build things. Hey, I love to paint things. Hey, I like to talk loud. You know?
Right.
It would just naturally happen. This is just a perfect example of community and humanity.
It was collaboration, but the set alone, like
Yeah, the set's
Braden's
beautiful.
paintings back there, awesome.
Oh, yeah,
You
great.
know, Morgan Johnson's paintings here on the wall.
You
Yeah.
should have been up here.
Is Braden here?
Yes.
Yeah,
Waiting for a
So,
That's true, man.
Stagehand.
last night you guys were rehearsing, I was looking again at the paintings, and I'm gonna miss the art, really, because his work is beautiful,
Yeah.
you know?
And it looks so beautiful on these walls.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
It's as if
Yeah.
it's made for the space.
That was the moment when you revealed all the artwork on the walls and you
Oh.
revealed how you had set up this space. That was for me, I
It
think.
was for me too.
It was kind of like, oh, we actually have something here.
When that curtain
Yeah.
opened, because
Brilliant.
I called a meeting, And the cast was a little antsy, everybody could, the stress was getting, hey, we're gonna open in, what, a month? And there was a lot that wasn't done yet. So I came in here on a Friday and Saturday and did a lot of work, and Braden was doing a lot of work, taking it from red to the beautiful color it is now. And I called a meeting and I said, when everybody gets here, just sit in the chairs and don't go backstage. And I said, no excuses. So I had the curtains closed and I found this carpet downstairs and the table had come into place and this whiteboard. And so I had, when I opened that curtain, I too thought, we have a show. Because it is a special set. It looks like a boardroom.
Yeah, there's something that happens once the set is in place and you've got an actual working set. Something happens to the actors that day. The day before, it's half painted, you don't have all the furniture, you're still working with rehearsal props, not the stuff you're really going to use. But then that day comes when it's finished and you walk into rehearsal that day and all of a sudden you're performing. You're not rehearsing anymore. You've upped your game and you're in the room. And for me, it's all part of, like, acting is it's all about being real. It's all about all the tricks you use to make it real. And the realer it is for you, for me, the better it is for everybody else. I can really sell something to these people if I believe it myself. And I'm sitting at a board table here. If I was sitting at a conference table, you know, the kind that we use or whatever, it wouldn't be real for me.
Right.
Because this boardroom has this table in
And
it.
the nice chairs too. I mean, that.
So something happens to you psychologically, I'm not sure what it is, but it's a real thing, and every time when the set comes together, and this one came together so beautifully.
Has anyone else, because I do it, and I don't know if anyone notices, it doesn't matter, I like it anyway. But I make it a point, and where my character looks out the window.
I looked for
I do
you
that too.
twice.
I look for you as
Several
well.
times.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
great. And I just, credit to Braden, thank you, Braden, I just wanted to bring that up. I love it. To me, it just captures, it's perfect. I can look out that window and think, yeah, I'm looking out a window, I need the sun on my face, you know, I love that.
That's the view of my Chicago hotel room a few years ago that I had.
My husband, he works in a boardroom, or used to work in a boardroom, and he came to see the show first, second night or whatever, and he said it was too realistic for him. He said
Yeah.
it really reminded him of a corporate boardroom. So
Yes.
that's a test.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do
That's
you know
credit
if
to
the
you.
writer had worked in a boardroom or what was
The writer himself is the president of a large video game company.
Okay.
He's gone to several, I mean, ones like Donkey Kong. EA Sports, I think he was for a while, and now he's with some boutique one in London. So he's quite used to
Yeah.
because that's $1 billion business. You know,
Yes.
so he's in there, so I would think he's used to board games. But I'm very pleased with the set. Opening that curtain that one day, I knew then I knew it was a special. I had no problem. I had faith in all of you. And you guys,
Years.
You guys are delivering.
Well, I enjoyed the show. You guys all did amazing. Everyone, even behind the scenes, and you know.
It was an easy behind-the-scenes show.
Yeah, Ideation, great play. Thanks so much for all the time that you guys put into it. I just wanted to ask anyone if they had any final words. What's next for you as far as plays or anything like happening soon? Does anyone have
That
plans?
melodrama's coming up, I'm hoping to try out for that.
Okay.
It'll come out in August.
Yvonne, you get on stage?
I'm trying to convince her.
Props to, I gotta give,
Only if I get to do the part that you do with.
all right.
Oh, yeah.
Short scenes.
Stand-in.
Yeah.
We'll just have a
If I'd
whole
known
play
I had to stand
dedicated to
in, I
those
would've thrown
scenes,
you
I
in.
guess.
Yeah,
We should charge for that,
that is
really.
honestly
Yeah.
the most
You know, audition
scene.
is $50.
If I could
Right?
have done that, yeah.
I just want to say, I want to give credit to Gigi and to Derral. I've seen you both act in plays before, and this theater would not be going on without you. You know, we need people to come back and continue to work here. I just want to say one nice thing to Jay.
Just
I'm
one?
just, yeah. I'm just super impressed, man, and I'm just so happy that to be able to witness someone do what you did, man. You've never been in a play before. You took on a difficult role for anyone, a working actor, anyone, and the results, well, it's just been excellent. And you too, Scoots, man. Way to step up, dude. It's been fantastic watching you grow.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. And so thank you. I really wanted to say that, so thank you. Thank you to our fantastic director. Oh, thank you for doing this too.
I'm
Sergio,
so
I
proud,
felt like
I'm
so
proud
safe
of all
with
of
you
you.
on stage, it's incredible.
Matthew,
How safe I
it was
feel.
so fun being your dad and working with you on
Ah.
stage. It's an
And your other
experience,
son,
and Marshall running camera, Pam running sound and lights. It's been a family affair. I'm very proud of you, and I love you. I love all you guys.
Well, I would like to thank your family too, because
He sacrificed a lot.
they sacrificed a lot to let you do this and to support you doing this. And that's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's super, super appreciated, not only by us here, but definitely our patrons. They're getting it as well, you know what I mean? That this is a phenomenal thing that's happened here, and that I think Phil is phenomenal, but he couldn't have done it without you guys, without your support, without
No.
his family.
yeah. We're Phil fanatics.
You really, yeah.
Phil Natter.
Phil Natter.
It's
Forevermore.
Philnitz.
Philnatics.
At the end of each play, you know, in my vast knowledge of childbirth, you know, my understanding is women say, you know, I'm never
I was thinking
I'm
the
never
same
gonna
thing.
have another kid,
yes,
right?
Yes,
And then the amnesia that
It's
kicks
very
in,
true,
and they
yeah.
have another kid. Well, right now, I'm never gonna do another play
Right,
because
because-
it is so.
Yeah.
But that's what I-
childbirth? What is happening here?
Is there a 50% chance that I'm pregnant? No, it's a 10%, 1%. Okay. But that's how I feel,
Yeah.
right? It is that right now, I am not thinking about the
No?
next play.
It's a
Yeah.
lot
you're
of work.
pushing
No,
still, so that's,
no, we're
yeah.
okay, but,
We had an easy job
I'm
backstage.
sure
Yeah.
we will be back
It's just
again.
all it is,
It's
Laura, all I gotta do
Actually,
is,
the whole point of
next
this
time,
show
he'll be here.
is to recruit these guys back.
Exactly,
They'll
yeah.
go
He'll be
home,
back.
they'll see how great they really are. And
What a
how much
celebrity they've
chemistry that
become.
You
Yeah,
have.
just
And
wait
how
till
much
you walk
fun
down
that
the
you
street.
had.
Yeah,
And in a couple of years from now, it's like, let's do it again.
yeah,
Let's do it again.
yeah, it doesn't have to be tomorrow.
Bring it back. Ideation 2.
One of my,
The after the phone call,
Yeah.
Ideation 2.
one of my second takeaways, favorite things about this, was, you know, having all the different people coming in, but my daughter was able to watch so many of our practices, I guess you call them rehearsals, right? Sorry, it's not sports.
Use the right word.
And so seeing her being exposed to this and opening her eyes to new possibilities.
Now she's
You know?
writing a play, right?
Yeah,
She's
wrote-
writing a
No.
play.
Really?
It's,
That's excellent.
what is she,
9.
9-year-old daughter is writing a play because of her
Awesome.
experiences here.
Yeah, so that was
That's
really
cool.
cool.
That's
So-
awesome.
That's worth $1 million.
That's probably
right
one of
there.
the best things that's happened,
Yep.
actually.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
It is.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to bring it to
If
the
you can
Ellensburg
inspire
Theater.
one 9-year-old, you know, that's all,
Yeah.
yeah.
Get her on board.
Yeah, that's right. Start her young. All right, you guys.
Great.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you
doing
so
this.
much.
Thanks a lot,
And
Laura.
thank you all for, I mean, oh my gosh.
What a
Thank
team.
you.
This has been a
Thank you,
blast.
Aaron, for writing this brilliant.
2 more days.
2 more shows.
2 more shows.
Oh my God, 2 more days, 2 more shows.
All right,
All right.
thanks guys.
Numero dos.
Thanks, Laura.
All right,